There are moments in the endless current of the cosmos when time itself seems to pause so you can hear the summons spoken in light. It is not the sound of earth and sky but an echo from the heights where heaven gently whispers. You are not nameless. Your name is inscribed in light amid the courts of heaven. In my gaze, every soul bears a sacred mission penned from the beginning. And today, when I call your name, it is a tender, yet urgent invitation. Beloved child, remain with heaven. You may not realize it, but each breath, each heartbeat is a conversation with heaven. When you stop amid the world's reverberations and open your heart to listen, a singular blessing awakens, for you yourself are the chosen light. That light is not for self-glory but to illumine, to heal, and to carry love into places still shadowed. I do not merely call you home, I am reminding you of your true place where you are loved, known, and held within the radiant hand of God. This is a tender revelation, not a warning but a veil drawn back so you may recognize that the celestial realm watches each of your steps. Every trial, every tear, every loneliness you have endured is not meaningless. It is the path by which you learn to hear more clearly the call heaven sounded long ago. When I, Saint Michael, stand amid fire and wind, I do not look upon you with judgment but with profound mercy, summoning your soul back to safety where darkness holds no power over you. And when your heart softly answers, "Here I am," the whole of heaven trembles with joy. In that instant a portion of heaven's own light has returned to its place. Your very presence is what God longs for. You were not chosen at random, you were chosen to become a witness to love, to victory, and to everlasting hope. And now, beloved child, as your soul opens to my light, walk with me more deeply into this holy calling. I want you to know you are chosen and you are precious. Not because of merit but because God has seen in you a beauty none can replace. From there you will understand the guardianship and sacrifice the heavens extend to you, the decisive hour before which you now stand, the personal miracle awaiting your ascent, and at last the triumph of the light, the sacred inheritance that is yours. Let every word that follows be like a spring that brushes your soul, awakening the certainty that heaven still awaits your answer. I will remain. Beloved child, before this world took form, before the first light touched the face of the waters, God beheld you. He embroidered your soul with threads of radiance and set within your heart a flame no one can extinguish. You are not the result of chance or coincidence. You are love's deliberate intention, born to mirror heaven's beauty upon the earth. I, Michael, the Archangel, am sent to remind you, you are chosen. Not because you are perfect but because you are a testament to the boundless kindness of the Creator. When you feel small, remember precious gems are hidden deep within the earth. God did not choose you for your strength but because in your weakness, He sees the place where light can break forth. Before I formed you in the womb I knew you. Before you were born I consecrated you. Jeremiah 1:5, a word not only for a prophet of old but still resounding today, meant for you. In every moment you live I see that sacred imprint, and I have come to rouse the sleeping certainty within you. You are the joy heaven has awaited. There was a day long ago amid the crowd, when Jesus saw Matthew, a tax collector deemed low and unworthy. Yet he did not see the sin, he saw the potential of an apostle. With a single call, "Follow me," Matthew left the tax booth and began anew. Child, that story mirrors you today. God sees what the world has not yet seen. And I, Michael, the Archangel, am sent to remind you that this light is waiting to be awakened. You are not a bystander. You are invited to step into the river of life where each small act of love can change an entire portion of the sky. You may have asked, why am I called among so many? Because heaven does not choose by achievements, but by love. In God's eyes you are not merely a face in the crowd, but a distinct light within the symphony of the universe. When you doubt, I stand beside you to remind you that no one can take your place in heaven's design. Every soul bears its own note, and if you fall silent, the music will lack a part of itself. You are the very melody God longs to hear. Child, do not fear your smallness, for the humble are those who make the kingdom shine. I have seen your tears in the night, and I have seen the ember still glimmering in your heart. God forgets not a single breath, overlooks not a single prayer. Every word you whisper I gather into my hands, lift before His face and say, here is the soul you love. Therefore, trust that not a day of yours is wasted, not a step of yours is lost. You are chosen not merely to live, but to become the place where God's love is made manifest. And when you recognize this worth, you will understand why heaven is so patient with you. Each fall is not to shame you, but to raise you stronger, gentler, and more attuned to the tenderness of God. I, Michael the Archangel, keep watch over you at the crossroads amid your choices to ensure that the chosen light within you is never buried. There will come a time when that light shines not only for you but reaches out to souls still seeking their way. When you live aware that you are chosen, you become a living witness that God still acts, still loves, still calls. From there you will perceive more deeply the protection and sacrifice the heavens offer you, an unassuming yet mighty love ever ready to fight for your soul that the light may burn forever. Beloved child, if you could see the world through my eyes, you would know the heavens have never left you, not for a single breath. There are nights that seem desolate, yet in truth an army of light encircles you like the arms of God cradling your small soul. I, Michael the Archangel, stand guard at the threshold of your life where light meets darkness and no shadow may cross unless heaven permits it. Do you know, from the beginning when God said, "Let there be light," I was entrusted to keep that light from ever being quenched. Every soul, especially yours, is a lamp set upon His hand, and I am the guardian who shields it amid the winds of this world. There are hours you think yourself alone, yet in those very hours I spread my wings over you to keep your inner flame from fading. He will command His angels concerning you to guard you in all your ways. Psalm 9:111. Not a distant promise, but a reality unfolding moment by moment upon your soul. Recall the story of the prophet Elisha. When enemies encircled the city, his servant was afraid, but Elisha prayed, "O Lord, open his eyes that he may see." At once his eyes were opened, and he saw the mountain full of horses and chariots of fire all around Elisha. 2 Kings 6:17. Child, that host still stands, and today, it stands around you. I am in their ranks. Each time you sink down, each time your faith grows frail, the angels raise you up by what may seem like chance, a word of comfort, a helping hand, a hope rekindled in your heart. Nothing is accidental. These are the traces of heaven's quiet sacrifices that you may be at peace. There are times when we must fight not with iron swords but with light, the kind of light that can drive back every long night. I have witnessed many souls standing on the threshold between despair and hope, and I have seen that God still chooses to keep each one, still sends me to say, you are still loved. My child, you cannot fathom the cost of such protection, for it is paid in unconditional love. Heaven does not cease to battle, not against you, but to keep you from the very shadows that would strip you of your dignity and your light. Each time you choose forgiveness instead of resentment, love, instead of closing your heart, you are not alone. I am fighting beside you. In every small decision, in every quiet prayer, I uphold your soul so it does not lose its way. Heaven asks for no repayment, for every sacrifice springs from mercy. You need only know this: not a single moment of your life lies outside the protecting embrace of God. There will be moments when you cannot feel me, and you will think I have gone silent. But my child, silence is at times the greatest shield. For in that stillness I am standing between you and the things you cannot yet see. Like a soldier guarding the city by night, I do not need you to see me. I need only for you to rest in the peace I keep for you. And when you lift even the smallest petition, I bear it upward, that it may become light in the heart of God. He hears and he answers, sometimes by another path, yet always more perfectly than you imagined. My child, I want you to know that the sacrifices of heaven are not a legend, they are a living reality unfolding around you, because heaven believes you are worthy of protection. Do not be afraid of your frailty, for in that very moment my wings are spread over you and the light of God is renewing your soul. And then one day, when you realize that this protection has never left you, you will see yourself no longer merely as one preserved, you will become a keeper of the light for other souls. And that is precisely what I desire you to be ready for in the next stretch of the journey, for the hour is coming, my beloved child, when heaven will invite you into the decisive moment where you will not only be protected but be called to answer that love with action, with a faith awakening in your heart. My beloved, there are moments when heaven holds its breath to await your reply. Not because God is distant, but because He is waiting for your heart to open freely. From the beginning, every soul has been granted a sacred instant, a decisive moment when you are invited to choose light, to choose love, to choose to live according to who you truly are. And my child, that moment is now. Not tomorrow, not when you feel more worthy, but this very instant, while your heart still beats and your breath still bears the rhythm of heaven. Today, if you hear His voice, harden not your hearts. Psalm 9. 5, 7, 8. That word tolls like a bell of awakening, ringing through all the world's clamor, reminding you that God awaits a single nod only, that to open the flood of graces He has prepared for you. I have seen many souls step to this threshold where light and darkness touch. Some hesitate, some fear, but there are souls who have dared to answer, Lord, use me. And the very moment they speak those words, all heaven bursts into triumph. I want you to know that you too stand at that boundary between what has been and what is opening before you. There is no time left to delay. This moment is a gifted grace. You have only to open your heart to receive it. Remember the story of the young maiden Mary of Nazareth, when the angel Gabriel came with the message. Mary could have been afraid, could have refused. But instead of letting fear lead, she replied, "Behold, I am the handmaid of the Lord, let it be done to me according to your word." Luke 1:3-8. That single yes shook the history of mankind. So too, my child, your answer today can alter the destiny of a soul. It can open the gates to wonders yet unseen. I, Michael, the Archangel, am at your side, not to compel, but to strengthen. I see the hesitation in your heart, the struggle between yes and not yet, between believe and fear to believe, but know this: God does not require you to be perfect before you say yes. He asks only for your readiness, and the rest He will work into wonder. The moment you decide for the light is the moment heaven and earth meet within your heart. Do not think yourself too small to bring about change. My child, every resurrection begins in silence, from a small seed that dares to break open. And when the seed breaks, life rushes in. The instant you choose to believe, even by the faintest spark, the light of heaven will pour in, illuminating the whole terrain of shadow around you. I have seen it many times, souls once weary, once fallen, but when they said, "I choose God," every chain shattered, every wound was transfigured, and a new vitality began to rise within them. I say this not to press you, but to awaken courage in you. No act of faith is ever small. Each step you take, each decision toward the good, draws the cheers of the guardian angels around you. You do not fight alone. I, Michael, the Archangel, am with you, and 1,000 other lights shine along your path. Do not postpone faith, for heaven's time is now. This very now is the hour of grace, the hour of rising, the hour when love knocks upon your heart. And when you choose to walk in this light, all heaven will open before you like dawn after a storm. You will feel life coursing through your heart. You will sense my presence no longer far off, but within each breath, each hope. For the moment you choose God, you have chosen to come home. And then, as the light within you blazes forth, you will begin to see the unexpected, personalized miracles and healings that heaven has reserved for you, unfolding gently, layer by layer, like the petals of a morning flower. My beloved child, I want you to know that God does not craft miracles in bulk. Each miracle is a love letter written for one singular soul, and the miracle for you bears your name. In heaven's light, no two souls are the same, no journey is a copy. Therefore, every healing you receive is unrepeatable, woven from the very wounds you once carried. God does not erase those scars. He transfigures them into places where the light shines through. You may think yourself unworthy to be healed, but my child, grace comes not because you are perfect, but because you are loved. Sometimes God heals at once. Sometimes He heals little by little, day by day, so that your soul learns to trust, to love, and to see Him within its very fragility. He will wipe every tear from their eyes, and death shall be no more. Neither shall there be mourning, nor crying, nor pain any more. Revelation 2:1-4. This promise is not only of a distant future, it begins in this very moment, when you let the light of God touch the most hidden places of your heart. There was a day when Jesus passed through a crowd, and a woman afflicted for 12 years quietly touched His garment. No one noticed, no one heard her voice, but the Lord stopped. He turned and said, "Daughter, your faith has made you well." Mark 5:3-4. My child, that is the image of God's love for each person. He overlooks no one in the multitude. He hears you even when you only breathe a sigh. And I, Michael the Archangel, bear witness to this. I have seen Him pause amid 1,000 pleas simply to reach your soul, because you are the miracle He is working. Understand that miracles are not only what happen outside you, but the change wrought within your soul. When you forgive, that is a miracle. When you dare to love again after being wounded, that is a miracle. When you halt in the storm to pray instead of to accuse, you are standing in God's radiant field where He makes all things new. I know there are hurts you have hidden too long, wounds you thought beyond healing, but God is not afraid of those dark places. It is there that His risen light shines the strongest. There are times you wonder, does the Lord truly hear me? My child, I tell you truly, every tear you shed is recorded, every pain you bear I offer before the throne of God. And in the silence He has already begun to act. Healing may come like the dawn, so gently you do not notice at first. But one morning you will find your heart no longer as heavy as before, and you will understand that the miracle has already come. I, Michael, the Archangel, remain at your side, to keep your faith from going out. When you are weak I lift you. When you are discouraged, I rekindle hope. And each time you choose to believe, you join me in the great work of healing that heaven is accomplishing within you. No act of faith is too small to be answered. Even the whispered "I believe," God has heard it, and He is writing the next chapter of that miracle within your very life. My child, do not search for miracles far away. Look into your own heart, where the love of God is quietly renewing each beat of life. You have not been left behind, and you do not need to wait for anyone to begin again. The true miracle is when you rise, smile, and say, I believe that God is still at work within me, and in that moment all of heaven resounds with joy, for a soul has returned to the current of light. Then you will realize miracles are not given only to heal you, but to prepare you for a greater mission, a mission to fight alongside the light, to set free what is bound, and to awaken the sacred inheritance God entrusted to you from the very beginning. My beloved child, once the light is kindled within you, the night no longer holds the power it once did. Darkness does not vanish in an instant, but it trembles whenever you stand firm in faith. I, Michael, the Archangel, am fighting still, not in some distant place, but within the region of your soul, where the light is making a way and love is restoring what was once shattered. You are not only being healed, you are being set free. Therefore, my child, do not be afraid when you feel yourself in the midst of battle. Every child of heaven is called to become a warrior of the light, not with sword or spear, but with love, with prayer, and with fidelity to what is good. Do not be overcome by evil, but overcome evil with good. Romans 1:2-1. This word is not only instruction, it is a key that opens the door to victory. When you choose the good amid temptation, when you choose forgiveness instead of condemnation, in that very moment the darkness is being defeated. Remember this: there was a night on the hill of Golgotha when darkness thought it had triumphed as the Savior fell. But at dawn on the third day light burst forth from the tomb. That was the moment every darkness on earth lost its claim. So too, whenever you allow God to renew you, you are living in the power of that resurrection. No night is deep enough to extinguish the light heaven has sown within you. I, Michael the Archangel, have stood upon the battlefield between heaven and earth when darkness surged and the powers of evil seemed to prevail. But the light of God is always stronger. Every curse, every chain, every old wound cannot stand before His holy name. I have seen chains melt away, I have seen souls open. I have seen the light within you blaze forth stronger than fear. And I say to you today that victory is not outside of you, it is within you. My child, each time you choose to rise even in weakness, that is a victory. Each time you say I forgive, that is a deliverance. Each time you believe even through tears, heaven blooms once more. Generations before you were preserved by this light, and now it is your turn. You are bearing the inheritance of the light. This inheritance is not one of power but of mercy, of faith, of unceasing prayers lifted by countless faithful souls. There was a night when Paul and Silas were held in the deepest prison. They did not complain but sang hymns amid their chains. And Scripture says suddenly there was a great earthquake. The prison doors flew open and everyone's chains were loosed. Acts 1:6, 2:6. My child, this is the image of a soul that praises God in suffering. Chains fall, darkness dissolves, and the light rises unstoppable. So it is when you sing in faith, even while circumstances have not yet changed. Heaven moves. What once bound your lineage, what old fears once held you, will be broken by the hymn of light within you. My beloved child, remember you do not fight alone. I, Michael, the Archangel, with the hosts of light still stand beside you. Every prayer you utter is an arrow of light shot straight into the night. Every act of love is a victory. Do not underestimate the power of a soul that believes. For when you believe, you are joined to the power of heaven, and wherever the light is present, there the darkness must bow. Now God desires not only to protect you but to release the sacred inheritance within you. There are callings, capacities, and dreams He planted in you from the beginning, and now is the time for them to awaken. Let faith be the key, and I will open the door with you. Your light is not for you alone, it is a patrimony for other souls, for the next generation, for a world in need of illumination. As you remain within this radiance, you begin to see with a tenderness that steadies the heart. Victory is not a curtain falling on the last scene, but a threshold into a living pilgrimage, a way of moving and breathing as one who carries brightness into rooms where weariness has taken root. What once seemed far above the sky is nearer than your next breath. It unfolds in the innermost chamber of your being, where the flame of holy love burns with patient fidelity. With each step you learn that peace is not the absence of storms but the presence of a deeper current, and this current begins within you, quiet, faithful, carrying you like a river carries a leaf, until every hour becomes a chance to sow gentleness, to reconcile what is divided, to mend what has been frayed by long sorrow. You do not manufacture this light, you receive it, you welcome it, you tend it the way a gardener tends a lamp in the wind, cupping it with your hands so that its glow can guide travelers who have forgotten the road home. When you cross that threshold, fear will still call your name, but it will find that the door has been fitted with a new lock. You will remember that you were set apart for radiance, not as a trophy to display pride, but as a living answer to the night that touches every street and kitchen and field. The legacy placed in your keeping is not a ledger of honors. It is a lineage of mercy, the steady chain of prayers whispered by grandmothers and strangers, by those who sang in hospitals, and those who kept watch in deserts, by hands that chopped wood and baked bread and wrote letters of forgiveness no one else ever read. Let this heritage take root in your decisions. Let it season your words and slow your temper. Let it send you back to those you wounded and forward to those who wounded you, bearing an outstretched hand. Believe this: the strength you need will be given at the moment you need it, not a minute earlier and never a minute too late. I am beside you in the giving, near enough to feel your breath when it shortens, near enough to lift your chin when shame pulls it down. Do not imagine that sanctity requires thunder. Holiness is not measured by spectacle but by consent, the daily yes whispered when no one is watching, the quiet surrender of your will to the good when the good is small and dull and costs you your pride. There will be dawns when your prayer feels thin as thread, and midnights when your words seem to vanish into unresponsive air. Trust this: within the soil of those silent hours roots are finding water. In the hush where nothing appears to move, an ember learns to conserve its heat. If you persevere in that seemingly empty place, compassion will mature within you. Patience will stop being an idea and become a shape your life takes. Humility will turn from theory to refuge. Then, when occasion demands, you will be able to speak a healing sentence, not because you rehearsed a perfect line but because your voice has been tempered in quiet truth. I must tell you something about wounds. Do not be terrified by them, and do not decorate them either. Offer them simply, honestly, to the healer who knows how to open the old places without breaking them further. I have watched iron bonds fall away when a soul dared to place its grief into hands stronger than despair. This is how courage and tenderness become one. You tell the truth about what hurt you, and in telling that truth to love you cease to be defined by it. Then your history becomes a doorway for others. At a workplace table where gossip once ruled, you can become the one who tells a kinder story. In a family where anger learned to sit at the head, you can move the chairs and make room for listening. In a city that drowns itself in noise, you can bear a silence that heals. Your scars will not be erased. They will be anointed. They will no longer accuse you. They will witness to a goodness that did not abandon you. There will be hours when you crave the simplicity of earlier days, when the path ahead looks like a stairway swallowed by cloud. On those steps, practice a litany of small obediences. Write the apology you have delayed, return what you borrowed and forgot. Remove the sentence that would humiliate, refuse the rumor that asks to be passed along. Choose beauty. When resentment is easier, put your phone down and notice the person across from you. If you keep to these humble disciplines, your inner weather will change, horizons will widen. Even on wet mornings heavy with gray, you will feel the hidden sky turning blue inside you. And when you stumble, because everyone stumbles, learn the quick art of rising. Refuse the long rehearsal of self-contempt. Let repentance be brisk, like opening a window to fresh air. Begin again, begin again, begin again, not because you are careless but because you trust that grace is stronger than gravity. You are not solitary. A quiet communion encircles you, ancestors whose blessings kept watch over your cradle, children not yet born who will harvest joy from your faithfulness, friends seen and unseen who shoulder your burden when your knees buckle. Each time you light a candle on an ordinary night and speak a blessing over your home, you join a choir that has sung through plagues and famines and exiles and the stillness of caves. Add your note. It need not be loud, let it be sincere. Teach your hands to bless your doorway, your desk, your pillow, your steering wheel. Let your workbench become an altar. Let your kitchen become a chapel. Let your commute become a procession where you offer your difficulties like flowers laid at the feet of the one who walks with you. In this way, the hours that used to slip through your fingers will thicken into sacrament. Time will not become less busy, it will become more holy. Because you carry brightness, thirsty people will come. They will ask for a map, and sometimes you will have none to give. Offer them presents. Offer them a listening that refuses to hurry. Offer them the story of how you were rescued without turning yourself into the hero. If counsel is needed, hand it like bread, not like a stone. If correction is called, forgive it as a skilled physician sets a bone firmly with hands warmed by compassion, aiming not to humiliate but to heal. And if what you bring is rejected, do not resent the soil. Bless it, pray for rain, and continue your road. Where shame has been the grammar of a life, let your language be honor. Where cynicism has thickened the air, open a window and invite hope to enter. Where despair has fossilized imagination, speak possibility with the steady cadence of one who has watched dawn after many midnights. And as you stand in that light, you will see, victory is not an ending. It is the beginning of a new journey, the journey of living as a child of the light, bearing heaven's peace into the world. Heaven is not far away, my child, it begins in your own heart, where the flame of God's love is burning bright. Therefore, step forward and do not be afraid. You are a chosen light, you are heaven's inheritance. You are living proof that love prevails. And I, Michael, the Archangel, will always be at your side, guarding, upholding, and fighting with you, until the light within you shines everywhere, so that the whole world may know heaven remains and love triumphs. Thank you for listening. Please subscribe and turn on notifications to journey with Saint Michael the Archangel and spread the light of God each day.